This is 8 Minutes of Awesome. I'm Jennifer Lipsky. Joining me today is Robert Bengston. Robert has an affinity for detail, not only in art and photography, but also for that special fire that is a part of each person. Robert, you and I first met in 2012, where I had the privilege of seeing firsthand your amazing and thought-provoking project called the Inspiration Campaign, through which people share their own personal messages of inspiration and are also similarly inspired by the messages of others. And in doing so, you have truly given a voice to the people. So I would like for you to share with us how you yourself came to be inspired to begin that remarkable project.
Mm. It's so neat. More and more people I talk to, it seems like something happened to them that set them in a new course back 2008, 2009, 5 or 6 years ago, something like that. And that is so resonant with what my own journey was about. So in 2008, I had this very clear vision of an art installation to take to this pretty growing known creativity festival called Burning Man that happens in the Nevada desert every year. And I'd been going for years, and I got this clear notion of taking a sacred piece of art to this festival. And I'd never done anything like it. I'm a photographer by trade, so making an interactive art installation just seemed kind of nuts, outside of my field of expertise. I've never done anything like that. And but it was just so clear to do this. So I made this art piece that was inviting people to reflect. It was about participation. And God, I could talk about this for hours, but the experience of using art and creativity to inspire self-reflection in someone, and then being able to even capture that, and by having them write their answer, their response to a question, was amazing for me. And it opened up this whole new realm as an artist and as a human to see how well people responded to the invitation. I just was like, my gosh, I think people are just so thirsty to have meaningful connections, to talk about what's important to their hearts, which is not quite something that we're encouraged to do in our current culture too much.
Share with us what creativity has meant to you in your life.
It's expressing my version of something, right? It's my voice. Like in this project, I've come to really understand and appreciate as an artist, every piece of art kind of represents a different intention by the artist. There's so many reasons to create something. You have 100 different paintings. They're all sort of telling a different story based on what the intention is of the artist to sort of create that. What are they kind of expressing? For me, there's been a theme, I suppose, of using using creativity to inspire someone else's experience. So like I use photography and now the media and these art installations to inspire someone else to have an experience, a specific experience that's specifically around their experience. And I find that when I went from a photographer, basically, look what I made, Jen, what do you think about what I made? And there's kind of a relationship there, but it's really about what you think about what I created. And when I had this experience of the piece really being about, well, what do you think about your own experience? This isn't about what I made, it's about what it's about what you discover by interacting with this and really creating an opportunity for that. And it was like a whole other dimension got added to the scene. It was like I was a chef that was given another spice to cook with or something. It was like it went into Technicolor, and I realized like that was kind of a missing ingredient that I was kind of searching for with my photography, because it seemed like it wasn't enough what I was doing before. And so, in a way, I think the creativity and inspiration go hand in hand, because it touches on our unique voice within us. Like, who did we come here to be? And what's the reason why we're here? And when I think creating taps into that. And when we feel inspired, it taps into that. And that's why you have so many different types of creativity, but if it's coming from this, similar source, it's just a different take on expressing why you're here.
What would you say to someone who says, gosh, I don't know, I'm not creative, I don't know what to say or to write or to express? How would you guide someone to access that?
I would expand our notion of creativity. I mean, every act is a creative act. Every word is a creative act. Every day is a creative act. Our lives are creative experiences. And, over time, this idea of creativity has been attached to art that's in museums or galleries. And I think expanding that to include everything we do, the dinner we make is a creative act. The way we speak to someone who's giving us change at the supermarket we're creating something. We're creating an experience for ourselves and for others. And so, and from that perspective, we're all artists. We're all creators in that way. Some have a propensity to play the piano beautifully. That's part of one of their talents to come here. But I think if we expand that notion and don't attach the doing with the done, so that there's a mutual exclusivity to creating something, and it may, again, it kind of comes down to what's the intention around what we're creating. But so many people don't think they're creative because it's been so attached to being worthy of art in a gallery. And I think that's just one of the many old stories that we can jettison and really realize everything we do is a creative act. So what kind of intentionality do we bring to it? And there's so many different levels of beauty as well. How we interact with our garden is an art project, as far as as I'm concerned. According to my way I kind of see it, I see everything as a creative act. So, and I think the more we think of it and see it that way, then the more we can bring consciousness into it and be more intentional, I think, and more appreciative that we're all creating all the time.
Beautiful. And Robert, if people wanted to contact you to learn more about the work that you do with your different projects, or just to connect with you personally, how would they do so?
Go to I have a main website, robertbengston.com. I think it'll be somewhere I have an interesting last name, so there's a G and the T in there, so just make sure that that's right. So there's there, and then I invite everyone to come join this social experiment with me and go to Inspiration Campaign, check it out. If it resonates, let yourself be counted and chip in $1 or more and help decide content and see about creating the biggest voice for love and new direction in the world. But yeah, in either of those places, there's contact info, so you can get in touch with me that way. So, yeah.
Beautiful.
Reach out anytime.
Great. Robert Bengston, thank you so much for sharing this time with me on 8 Minutes of Awesome.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.